Wow. Well, well, well. What a way to start. So, alarm had just went off. So, unfortunately, I am actually not at home. I just made a move across the country, and it is an Ace of Spades week. And for me, that is my Mercury card and my planetary ruler. So, it has been an eventful week. This Two of Spades week, it was between 9:30 to 10:06, which is today, would be the Ace of Spades week. Of course, Ace of Spades is the card of death and rebirth. It is the initiate as well, and becoming the adept. So, life for the Ace of Spades is about initiations and going through the process of whew, eternal life. Uh, all right. So it has been kind of an emotional heavy week for me. I didn't think I would actually kind of feel like I am now. So mm, yeah, so it deals with death and rebirth in the process of spirituality. Um, this week, um, I guess I have to tell you because why I'm emotional, right? So I didn't think I would be because it happened as far as within my hometown, and I am home, but there was a death, unfortunately, during that touched a lot of people. His name was Decory, and hopefully his family gets peace and rest. But I know it's pretty heavy because of who he was as a person. You know, um, it's it's crazy because like he's literally like one of those people that touched a lot of people just from being himself. You know, he's one of my brothers and my cousins like best friends. You know, Desandre, Newt, and my little brother who they call Sonny Prez. But so they in a group, a rap group with this MMO with MMO Mexico, who was actually signed to a record label, I believe 400 Records, I believe, who has another artist from my area as well, NYGL, Nigel. But so there was a death. He was one of those type of people, like I said, that really touched a lot of souls and a lot of people. And even the way that I met him, he was protecting his brothers. You know, he was protecting the people that was around him. So a very honorable person. I didn't like look up his birthday or anything, but it just so happened, you know, because the one of these sayings for the Ace of Spades is recognizing there's life within life, there's deathlessness within spirit, you know. And he was the representation of that because the spirit is everlasting, the way that everyone responded. I could hardly get on Facebook and like not see um, just how the stories, you know, that people had about him and the light that he brought. He was a comedian at heart, and just every day, you know, he would just be himself and touch people just doing everyday things. Like my cousin was telling a story like he was actually my cousin um, mother girlfriend at the time was moving out and he pulled up to the crib was like, man, if I knew this was you, I would have never came here, man. You got me out here touching this man house in his house. Like, come on, man. If I knew, like, you know, he was like one of those people that brought light. So, yeah. So, just I want to start out with that, just because the Ace of Spades is the card of death and rebirth, and we kind of touched on it last week, and it just happened Friday, Saturday. And excuse me, I am a black guy in America and with black relatives, and of course, a fire alarm is going on.
I wasn't going to say nothing. I was going to let you
Yeah.
listen to
So
that
you,
the
you
whole
can't.
time.
Yeah, I can never be questioned for my black card can never be removed. after this episode. Like,
That is
so, but but yeah, that the essence of the Ace of Spades is death and rebirth. We kind of spoke about it last week closing, and I believe you touched on it too. It's the United States Kudo, right?
hmm
Gina?
Yep. hmm Rashad, I'm sorry for your loss. I am sorry for your loss. It is it's definitely hard, and he's probably young, had a whole.
Yeah, a whole life ahead of him, for
hmm
sure. Yeah. And like I said, I've only ran across him once, but and a few times, but I know him. I've seen him, and that's my cousin and my brothers. They're best friends. I believe there was on. I don't know if he's on the Dirty Gloves episode when they did on YouTube. So he's definitely always just been around and someone you've always seen. It's hard to kind of see that and see how like someone life can be taken that mattered so much to so many people. Like
Yeah.
that's the hardest thing, and to see that they have to go through a loss like that. Like you just can feel their pain and what they're going through, and just the lessons and the you know that he left for people, you know, of just being himself and no matter what, and being that light, no matter what you're going through, like it's nothing negative that anyone had to say about him,
Yeah.
so
Wow.
but yeah, so unfortunate. But again, the Ace of Spades teaches you there's you know within the spirit there's no death, there's deathlessness within this lifetime, and to let everything go with all your attachments, to the physical, and live within and forever be present. Sometimes we're not present, you know and there's a lot of drudgery that goes through the Ace of Spades to those who don't reach that particular level. There's a lot of jealousy and envy that can be wrapped into that card, either with them or the people that they may touch, or the
hmm
people that may be around them that could be jealous or envious of them as well,
hmm
and they're just doing themselves, being themselves.
Yeah, my daughter's an ace of spades, and but we've seen with basketball, we've seen with just her height, her looks, you know, um, and it's interesting even now where she is being the freshman on the college campus, being the only freshman on the college basketball team, and she was kind of just doing her thing. I mean, she's very physical, she's very athletic, she's very dominating on the court, and she had called me a couple weeks ago. She's like, "Mom, I think I'm concerned because I'm I'm outplaying these seniors." And and being the only freshman, and like kind of like, again, there can be jealousy. I told her, I said, especially when it comes to girls, they're extremely competitive. They can be extremely, you know, vicious. And especially if you're competing for a spot. I mean, they got like 14 girls on the team. How many people start? Five, right?
Hmm.
So and so there's that element of competitiveness with her. And I still just focus on you, get better. You're a freshman, you have the opportunity to really make some numbers. We think he's going to play her, just because of her dominance, her ability to score. So but yeah, she does experience that a lot just in her short 18 years of life. She's the jealousy that can come because she is very smart. She's always succeeded. She's always been very driven. And I told her, you can't worry about what other people think. You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta keep doing what you need to do. So that energy is definitely a powerful one, and even we've seen it in this week, with all the like death that we've been exposed to with these storms,
Hmm.
what people have been facing, even them not really coming out with the full death toll from just this last storm. Now we have another storm coming. It's a lot.
No, yeah, for sure. We were talking about the spades and the hearts, and it dealing with family relationship, dealing with the public, and the sensitivity that can seep in, as far as the emotions. you got to think about the Six of Hearts as Christmas. Why would they put Christmas, December 25th, as the Six of Hearts? And the Six of Hearts is about karma, about what you reap, what you sow within your relationships. It's the gift that keeps giving. Is the Six of Hearts, Queen of Diamonds. As far as how I look at it, is the value of people. You know, it's the gift that keeps giving. If you understand what people are and understand you know, the importance of relationships and able to get a return on your relationships because you reap what you sow. But when you don't, it can be nitpicking. You can be blaming other people, becoming a victim in some type of way, right? But the Six of Hearts is all about the karma within relationships. So you think about the past, you think about past relationships. That is the energy that would be kind of perfect for that day.
Well,
So all, go
think
ahead.
about it too, Rashad, though. Like, what is the whole like Santa Claus is watching? And he knows if you're naughty, he knows if you're nice, blah blah blah. So it kind of goes with that. You get what you put out. If you've been good, you get
Mhm,
gifts. If you haven't been good, you got coal. At least that's the
mhm,
story, right? So it kind of is interesting that it is that day, and it is a reflection of your good behavior, right? That you get rewarded with presents. So yeah, I can easily see that too.
mhm. And because the Six of Hearts, I see because I see like the reward within relationships. Like one of my first jobs working with a nonprofit organization, I was uh, assistant to one of the directors, and she was the Queen of Diamonds. Yeah, and she helped me out so much within that organization with getting the experience and helping me as far as tracking down, the past task of everyone else that worked into within the organization because it was some things that was kind of unfamiliar. I was unfamiliar with, so she really helped me adjust within that position. So it was, yeah, the Queen of Diamonds for me has always been an aid. So it supports me.
Mhm.
And then you have to look at Martin Luther King. I keep on saying Ian the best, but what his impact was and his power was as far as helping people and as far as his mindset. And right before he died, his whole goal was really leading, people out of a burning building, as they say. So, being of service, that's also the Ace of Spades, which is the three of diamonds Mercury, right? But being of service is the value, and you reap what you say. So, like you said, within relationships.
Yeah, and I think too, like the Queen of Diamonds is like they're like a gatherer. They know how to
Mhm,
kind of like gather people and really get them on board for the
mhm,
vision. You can see that they bring like a lot. It's like they want you to see the value in you, right? And they bring that value, and then they want you to kind of keep operating from. They're here to raise the bar, in my opinion. And so when they speak, people listen. They very much, bring forth a lot of like I don't know, they just have that ability again, being that queen energy, the intuition, being able to trust this would work, this wouldn't work, and then getting people to kind of like go go with it.
mhm,
Like and really being able to trust their wisdom that they have when it comes to like resources, connecting people. They're like the connector, like, oh hey, you should meet this person because you have a business and you have a store and your products could do really good in their store. And then they're like, all right, I'm good, I'm done. Like they just brought you together to be able to do business and really raise the bar. That's kind of how I see the Queen of Diamonds.
mhm,
you know so yeah, it's
mhm,
definitely been a week. um it's a little stressful here. I am leaving. I'm not staying. I'm leaving tomorrow
mhm.
night. um
Okay, that's good.
yeah, I'm not staying. I can't. I'm not built for this. I looked at my cards this week and I was like, oh hell no. I'm out.
Um,
Yeah, I don't like what I have in regards to I know my mind, like tomorrow I
mhm,
have I have a seven of spades and a three of clubs. I was like, fuck. And it's my Mercury day on top of it. So it's like I'm already like feeling that. So I just know me. I know that my house, I have a lot of trees. I have a
Mm,
lot of trees around me. I have trees all in my backyard. I back up to trees. The neighbors on this side of me have a massive tree that if that
mhm.
thing goes, we're all, it's just, it's not good. I have
Oh,
two big ass trees in my front yard. Like I'm literally surrounded by trees. Though it's been
yeah.
raining all day today. It's going to rain all day tomorrow. It's not going to stop raining because we're getting pieces of
That's
it
fine.
already. So the
Mm,
ground is saturated. I'm going to go, I was going to originally go to Georgia, but then I realized everybody and their mama is going to try to go north. There's not going to be
mhm.
gas. 75 is one of the only ways up besides 95. So I think what I'm going to do is go south because my dad is down south. And I think that's closer for me. I can get there with the gas that I have. So I
I
wouldn't
don't
need.
know, Gina. I don't know. Go no. I don't know. You
No,
know what
not.
I was thinking? Like as far as because the last one was crazy. You got to think about the type of pattern that happened. Not saying
Yeah.
this can be the same. It's a five of hearts, so I could see people traveling. You know,
Yeah.
everyone is going to evacuate for sure because
Yeah.
they're scared based upon with everything else. And we said it's a five of hearts. Gina, we you looked up the name.
Yeah, I did. It's a five of hearts. You're right.
Yeah. So that five means
Once you
travel.
said that back to me, I was like, damn, man, I guess I am leaving. Because I know, I already know what that energy is. I already, I pinpointed Helene. We did that last week, right? When J Lo said it was a 10 of clubs, and you can just see where all the the mass energy, the 10 has those fives, the five is connected. I'm just like, you know what? And when I say we're going south, my dad is on the east coast of Florida, almost to Miami. So that's better
No.
than going southwest. Like I'm obviously not going to go to Fort Myers. That would be dumb. But if I go to the furthermore east side, then at least if it stays the track that it's supposed to stay, which that cannot
Gina,
change.
leave in the morning, go north. Just go
No,
north.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go south because everybody's gonna leave. I don't want to get stuck. And here we have to think about this too, Rashad. Valdosta, Augusta, all those towns when you
You
first
have
get
a
to
seven of
Georgia,
spades.
they all don't have gas. They don't have power still.
Are we getting power? I'm in South Carolina now. Like, so you could come where I am. I'll be here for 15 days. Like, so you have a seven of spades. A seven of spades, we're talking about judgery, with seven of spades, vehicle issues, no driving, being
I know.
stranded. That's what I'm thinking about when I'm looking at the seven of spades. Illness. You talking about? We're talking about water. Definitely seven of spades.
I
Yeah.
know. But I think my dad, at least my dad, it's only 2.5, 3 hours away. I can get there without having to get gas. And I think right now gas is going to be a problem because everybody's going to be leaving. So I got to get to where I can go. I don't want to be stuck on the road either. You know what I mean? My daughter's
Uh,
going to stay at the school in Jacksonville. She should be good there. And I'll just go to my dad's, which and it's closer. It won't take me as long to get back, you know. They are saying that it's going to travel, like the way the path is going to basically ride I-4. I live 10
okay.
minutes. I live 10 minutes from I-4. So
Whoa, that's crazy.
I'm not staying, like, I'm not staying at the house because I'm not built for this. I got, it's me and my daughter and the dog. And like I said, the trees that I have around me. So I even said to myself, and I listen, I pay attention to different things. Like I had told myself at the beginning of this season, if there was a storm that was coming directly to where near I am, I will not stay here because I've been here a few times and I just know my nerves and it's not going to be good. And then you hit me up, you evacuating. What's the name for Milton? Rashad hits me back, five of hearts. Fuck, guess I am. And then other people have caught, like there's been certain things that my queen of clubs ex texted me last night. I don't have a good feeling about this. I'm gonna trust what that queen of clubs feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I talk to
So
him all the time. I
I'm
have
out.
two. I'm one in business with two, so I definitely trust the instincts of the Queen of Clubs. They could be on the deep end sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
but they can definitely be on point a lot of times as well. And the eight and why is that? They have the Ace of Spades and
In Jupiter.
Jupiter.
Yep.
Yeah, so It's an Ace of Spades week, so that also deals with following your intuition, you
Yep.
know, with anything, and it can be very intuitive. It's Mercury. A lot of times, as far as the intuition, it comes with those placements of things sitting in Mercury. That's why you were talking about the Queen of Diamonds as far as helping and being of service. That can kind of help them as well. Sitting Mercury, Saturn, the Four of Hearts, Queen of Spades, Queen of Hearts, as far as what you see. I'm not at my computer, unfortunately, but the Ace of Spades, it sits Mercury, Neptune.
Hmm.
So with those particular cards, you looking at the intuition, also seeking information and becoming enlightened. Also, what goes with that is watching what you say and understanding what you say and the power of words as well. And actually, that's what was also kind of crazy. Why it kind of hit me so hard as well because you gotta within the person I was speaking about earlier, there was a something that they said about death. I would rather go out fighting, than going out as a coward
Yeah.
weeks before it happened. So you
Wow.
have right. Weeks or months, if I'm not mistaken, it could have been longer. I didn't look at that date, but just that essence,
Do you know
of
you don't know his card?
no, I don't. It was something like just seeing all of that. It was just been so hard, and then me moving, it was just nah. I just didn't look into it. I was just
Because I've
short.
seen that where that's been very prevalent with like six energy. Like I've seen
Hmm.
different cases where like six of clubs have said, something about dying and then they die. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
they don't realize the power of their words. Same thing with like the seven of clubs. Like I've been very mindful of the things they speak out in existence.
Hmm.
That's why I asked, like, if he's a six, because just that, and sometimes people know, you know,
Yeah, that's
I
that's
wholeheartedly believe people sometimes know.
and that's the lot of the Ace of Spades
Yeah.
is knowing your path.
Yeah.
It was saying if you are able to live up to it. But I wrote down something else, and it's like they're purging for preparation of his future, and in the hardest of their particular moments, and they may labor uneasily, and endure without complaint, whatever his karma, whatever his karma may present. So, no matter what, and also using that intuition and knowing that lot within life, you know. So it's like you know what's going to happen, and you have, in your soul know you have to endure, you know. That's why I say you have to watch what you say because I've been in those situations, like I know what that looks like to speak something before it happens. Like that's why it also kind of like hits me, because I know what that looks like to
Yeah.
be and see. Like I can't imagine what's like before death happens. It's hard to tell me that you don't know or you don't see it coming. To be
Yeah.
honest, because I've been in the face of death, and I'm a three of diamonds. I have the Ace of Spades and Mercury. Before I almost died, I acted it out in my living room. You got to understand that this point in my life, I was introduced into spirituality, and not even knowing the cards. I'm just going through manifestations, the steps of manifestation, contemplating what that is, looking at the secret, and just like everything that I do, and I was doing at that time, I was acting it out, like doing it before it happened. And at that particular time, it was almost instinctually, I guess, and I did it. And then when after I did it, I was like, "Dang, why you just do that? That you don't want that to happen." Then it happened 2 weeks later. I almost died.
Mm, mm. Yeah. That's wild.
So, and it was the story of somebody else, and I was telling myself, "Don't be in that situation. Like, don't put yourself in that situation." And I did, and I went against all of my instincts and all of the rules, all of the boundaries, everything that I trained and I know I should have went. I knew I should have carried myself with.
Hmm.
So it's just all of those things that you think about, and that's why I say the Ace of Spades is a powerful card. Even within P Diddy, you know, um, you got to look at the albums that him and Biggie Smalls made, Life After Death. You know, I'm Ready to Die,
Mm-hmm.
Ain't No Way Out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I mean,
Helicopter. Go ahead.
you're speaking it. You know what I mean? Like you really, really are putting it out there. And we've learned that if we're just frequencies, we're just energy. We're creating then it's like a radio station, and it's gonna vibrate out. And now the outside is just a reflection of the inside. So if you keep
Mm-hmm.
speaking that type of stuff, you're gonna bring it to you. You know what I mean? So yeah, and even like the music, and we've learned too that you can be, the frequencies, the word, they penetrate. Next thing you take on that energy and or beliefs, and it's if you don't have your own, yeah, you got to be
Mm-hmm.
mindful. And the Ace of Spades is a very, again, it's very, very, like, I feel like they can see things before they happen. They're
Mm-hmm.
very, very prophetic in that space. Their dreams, like you said, they sit Mercury, Neptune. So it's like they're in their dreams is where I feel like a lot of their answers can come from. They like they're the type of people, or people who, especially if you have it in Mercury like you do, your dreams are really like messages to you. They can give you insight into things that are already, that are going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
And before I forget, you touched on the Six of Clubs, and the Five of Diamonds transforms into a Six of Clubs, right?
mhm.
And the Six of Clubs transforms into
The Ace of Spades.
the Ace of Spades, and the Five of Diamonds is Rich Homie Quan's card. Go back and listen to his music.
Oh wow.
Just go back and listen to his music.
Yeah.
The Five of Diamonds is prophetic as well.
Yeah.
Prophetic, they can be fortune tellers and or psychics within their highest form. And and someone said the other day, men don't have intuition; they have instincts. And the
Mm,
difference between, I think, what you call instincts, I think we all have instincts. I think that is the space is just reacting and doing. You
hmm
know, the intuition is knowing, the instincts is doing, and the reaction and the effort that you put towards it. Like you said, you can have a lot of dreams. That's my biggest issue is sometimes not knowing what's reality and what's not. What's the difference between my dreams and me just making something up?
right. Yeah.
Because you can daydream like, damn, that's crazy. Like I did, like I can act something out and it happened. You know how crazy that is? How to
hmm
feel like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's very interesting, that energy, and it is. It's a lot of transformation. It's a lot of letting go. It's a lot of, not being attached. It definitely can bring forth, you know, it gives a lot of, I think there's two, because of the kings that are connected to it, with the king and Pluto, and then the king is their
Mm-hmm.
reward card. It requires a lot of maturity and realizing like how much power you really do have as that energy. And when you really mature, you really, become more accountable, more responsible. There's more opportunity for success, realizing that they're a driving force behind their success. Like they really can, anything that they really set as a goal, and as it, I noticed, at least for my daughter, and being around her, obviously, like when she has like a goal, or she has like a desired, like okay, like she just sent me, like this past week they had these practices,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to get, it's like 1 through 10, and they have to get through each, number, and each number is a different, like, down and backs within this time, or these are all the different, conditionings that they're doing. And she's like, Mom, I've never run that fast in my life. I go, see, that's what you need. When they make it, one, a competition for you because you love to compete, and two, they say, you you have a goal, you have a time, you have to meet this time. That is when that kid is like on fire. You know what I mean? You give her this, this is what I got to do. I can set my, sights to that, and bam, execute. And they can execute typically, pretty good, and
Mm-hmm.
usually win, or, and for her, The running was always been a challenge for her, but she's like, Mom, I don't think I've ever ran this fast in my life. And she's like, but I did it. I beat the time and everything. So I told her, so that's what works for you. You give her a goal or a sheet of paper, like, okay, you got to do this many, this time. Okay, good. Bam, I got it. Then let me execute it. So those kings really, because they want to win. They absolutely want to win. They want to be the best.
No, yeah, for sure. It definitely gives you the competitive edge. And sixes as well, like the six of hearts. A lot of sixes has like that drive, that passion. Six of hearts.
Yep.
It's Mars, Mars. I don't think we give that particular energy as far as the passion, dedication, the trying to figure things out. Organizing things in your head mentally and preparation that happens with the six of hearts a lot of times. For their lots in life. So, they're very calculated individuals as well. King of Diamonds as well. It's the master, right, merchant. So they too are very calculated as they should be. So yeah, I think those having like that King of Diamonds, that Six of Hearts, that energy, just and not we can't even undermine the King of Hearts as well. but,
Right.
but yeah, all of those energies, propel them to be maybe into sports or being at the top of their class or their craft. As far as like drive or ambition. Now let me put just a second. Let me put the dates up. Like I'm saying, I'm not in my computer, so just a second. I mean, I meant to copy and paste it. If you want to go into um, the Ace of Spades as far as their sequence and what else kind of brings as far as the drive and ambition.
I mean, I think, when you think about it, they have a very interesting path, right? They have those two sevens. I think that five of spades in Mars, is a very strong motivator for them. It keeps them moving. But here's something too. I think it also depends on the birthday of the ace of spades, the planetary ruling card. I've seen the two water ace of spades, the Pisces and the Cancer ace of spades, at least from the women that I have met. I think they're more emotionally hmm I don't know how to say this, but like I think it really is a big, like I've seen, like, they can deal with a lot of like hard ways of expressing themselves because of that King of Hearts and Pluto, and I feel like they can maybe mask a lot of the hurt. I think the Ace of Spades has, obviously authoritarian issues or issues with the masculine or issues with people who try to control because of the King of Hearts and Pluto. A lot of times it can be father issues. And so the women, I've noticed, obviously have some kind of distance with the dad. And if they don't find an outlet for that, I feel like their health can suffer. Like, it's interesting to see the different birthdays of the ace of spades, the drive, the determination. But then I've seen where the one, like this, like I said, the Pisces and the Cancer one are a little bit less motivated for health, their body, taking care of themselves. And I think there's, obviously with the water sun being ruled by the water energy, the Pisces and the Cancerian energy, they may be more emotionally sensitive um
Mhm.
with that, and I feel like they can overdo things or they can get really fixed and stuck in their emotions because that Jack of Hearts and Pluto, and so they have to be very mindful around that. But like, obviously my daughter's a Capricorn ace of spades, so when I mean, she gonna outwork you, she gonna win, she does not like get out of the way. She is very determined. She's a force to be reckoned with. um
Yeah, the Pisces and the Cancer can be lazy.
yeah,
Probably they can probably be, I wouldn't say selfish, but maybe into their self. Maybe I wouldn't say more than anybody else, but yeah, you can probably have those emotional, overly emotional periods because they have a seven of hearts as well. It can be dramatic. The
yes,
displacement of seven of hearts, so you can't deny the emotional side of the Ace of Spades, but it also helps as far as intuition with people. Seven Hearts can be very psychic as well,
yeah,
very intuitive, or have at least people around them guiding them, giving them intuitive, guidance in some type of way. Like I would not, deny that Bill Gates has some type of somebody around him that's into metaphysics, to be honest,
Yeah.
to push him and do what he does. Someone said, "What about the Earth Ace of Spades?" I like the most encounters. Gina was just talking about. I like the Taurus as well.
Yeah.
They can be very motivated into their health, physical fitness. Like I said, so when you vibrating at your highest, so that's why I was in a group. You know what, Gina? I got kicked out of a cartomancy group this week. That was
What?
crazy. Yeah.
How did you do that? John, how did you get kicked
because
out?
because I said because okay, all right. When people give information around the cards, maybe I need to lighten up and sometimes because maybe it's just a learning environment and just for, you know, giggles maybe. I don't know. But it's like when you pulling your cards, and sometimes it depends as far as pulling cards. I feel like you need some type of spiritual grounding and like some type of spiritual base, to be pulling cards for people, even pull your own cards to understand what you're doing, who you're speaking to, who is the diviner, like if you're pulling your own cards, should I be asking somebody else what does that mean for me? You see what I mean?
Hmm.
It's like you sometimes I feel like you should have a relationship with yourself. If you're gonna pull cards for yourself, or if
Yeah.
someone pull cards for you, they should have some type of ability to have intuition, understand their own mind, their own brain. What's coming to them and what they're seeing. And I have my own other theories around pulling cards that I would kind of keep to myself about what aids that craft sometimes as well. And because it may be seemingly supernatural, which is maybe a little crazy for me. Because I just posted on Dr. Minister Inky Instagram that I don't believe in anything without it being proven. And when I say proven, to a fact multiple times, I would not be here right now if I didn't give a reading and somebody didn't come to me multiple times, or if I didn't see it in my own life, as far as me like seeing like, dang, these cards are right. Like looking at my daily, if I had have been wrong multiple times, wrong more than I was right, I would not be here right now. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? Like, so you gotta have some type of sense of what it means and what's going on. Like, so for me to be on a feed is like whole bunch of opinions and I don't know you or if you don't know if someone has a spiritual base because when I said you should have a spiritual base, someone said, no, you don't. It
Hmm.
just is what it is. I was like, well, all right. So this proves my point. Like I already felt like that, but this just proves my point. So they kicked me out because I was like, I think you like whenever you read, you should get an understanding. And some cards have double meanings. Like a five of hearts can be divorce or it can be marriage.
Right.
I don't know you. I don't know like I don't know what's going on with you. And what if I'm not spiritual and I just only know that the five of hearts means a relationship or feelings, emotions changing. You know, like so I always try to give multiple points of view. So that's why I said if you have no spiritual base, then at least know there's multiple factors or within these cards. If you don't have any type of spirituality, if you don't have any type of intuition, know that there's different meanings to these cards. Is
Yeah.
that wrong? Was I wrong?
No, I just like just like you said, the five of hearts doesn't always mean a divorce. It can mean that you
Hmm.
actually get out of complacency and get out and meet new people and could be a
Hmm.
new relationship. It's a
Hmm.
change in your relationships or emotions. Doesn't always
Hmm.
mean, now obviously this storm being a five of hearts is telling me to get the hell on. So
Right. That's what I'm saying. You got to know everything as far as what's going on, and I like to follow my intuition. I trust myself as well.
yeah.
So if I don't say all the things, maybe I just wasn't led to say that, and that hit for you. But if I didn't, something, when I do a reading, I may give every single like I literally, honestly, no matter how long you think I know these cards, I still go back and read almost every book or skim through everything before I even give a reading sometimes.
Mhm.
So it takes me hours just going through it, understanding what's going on, what do I want to say, what's the time period, what does this card really mean in its fullest essence? Because I know that I don't have the best mind in the world. Like I forget things as much as I know, so I still want to go through and look at all of the different points. You know what I'm saying? So you like kick me out because I'm saying make sure that we're looking at all the points, guys. Like,
Well, it isn't, and from what I understand about cartomancy, their like their meaning is like that's it. There's no really like gray. You know what I mean? Like, because I had someone tell me one time like there was a card and they're like, oh, that's a death, like you're gonna die. I'm like, geez, like dang, like no, we're not gonna no, but that's what that card means. I'm like, that's the only meaning it has. Like that's it. So
yeah,
I was like, okay, well, this might not be my
type of thing.
yeah, this might not be my avenue with cartomancy, but and like I said, it is kind of like when you give a reading and you have someone who has like the Ace of Spades and the Nine of Spades and the Six of Spades, you're looking at this spread, you're like, like, here's a lot of transformation is going to happen. I would never give a reading and say, you may die. I think that's insane to me. I wouldn't even go as far as saying someone is going to get a divorce. I think that's wrong. Kind of put that energy on somebody. I can say though, your relationship may be experiencing changes. You may want more freedom. You may want to not be, you may want to explore, you may want to, you may need to do, maybe you need to travel with your partner to see if you even still like your partner. You know what I mean? Like those types of things. If you decide after that fact that this is not for you, then I could see you wanting to free yourself because you're looking for, because usually when it comes to those fives, they want more. They're
That
looking for something more, right? That's the base of the fives. They're looking for more. So hearts is going to be looking for more love, more attention, more feelings, more romance, more connection. The clubs are going to be looking for more information, more knowledge, more, opportunity to communicate, looking at the different perspectives, different ways of seeing things. The diamonds want more money. They're looking for more resources, more value, more opportunity. The spades are looking, I mean, that's a complete change and an overhaul of your lifestyle, your health, your work, your spirituality. You could move, so it doesn't always mean like, yep, that's it. I've seen it with a 5 of hearts and a 9 of hearts as the result card. They didn't get divorced. But what they went through was an emotional, actually that can make you stronger, because what it's asking you to do is let go of your attachments, your expectations, free yourself, have more fun, lighten up at the highest, right? Wouldn't that be? Doesn't always mean
Yeah, or
that
maybe
that's it.
travel, change your
Yeah.
location, travel together, go on a fun
Yeah.
date, go to the beach,
Yep.
you may even buy a dog. Like,
Right. It's not
like,
representative of pets. Yeah, exactly.
so
So
like that can be a change within your home, within your family. Um, so that's why I said it's 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 also tough to even do this as even offer readings and do this for people. Like there's the book, what is it? Gosh, I want to get the book. I know you all can you still hear me?
I hear you.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a book.
I still hear
Let
your
me.
your smoke alarm too.
But she goes through cartomancy and doing the craft, right? So she advises people to kind of watch what you say and how you iterate certain things. And she goes through all of the different paths, and I'm like, she also says like you can change people's direction in life sometimes, and we also have to be careful because you don't know the mental state of
Right.
someone when they come to you.
Yep.
Like you have no idea how you are influencing them. You can be like, someone's gonna die in your family. They can be a freaking psychopath. What if they go out and kill them? Like,
And that's where I think it's really like I've been really particular about the rooms that I go into when people are talking cards, because I'm like, you know what? If you're not operating with integrity about these cards, if you're just I can't. It actually, because it frustrates me and I get really angry. So it's like I just don't put myself in places that are going to make me mad, because I can't. I get really upset that one, you're just spouting shit off based on, that it's a 9, oh, it's going to be bad, and oh, it's going to be an ending. Why would you ever say that to someone? You know what I mean? Just like you said, you don't know the mental state that they're going to be in. So you have to learn how to use words that encourage, but also I don't sugarcoat it. I do not sugarcoat my readings either. I'm not gonna fluff it. But I'm also not gonna say things that are gonna make this person scared. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say things that are gonna make someone worry. But I am going to give you, though, like if you do have those 9s, and I look at it as like you're shedding a skin. Is something is asking you to release something. You're letting something go. There may be something, there could be the death of, a certain thing in your life. It could be something as giving up meat, giving up dairy. That is a death of food that you ate. You know what I mean? So it doesn't always mean that, someone's going to croak or whatever the case may be. Right. So, and I think we just have to be mindful of how we give this information, and that's another thing too. You have to really be able to read and take the whole, like, you have to really be able to look at the whole
The whole
spread. It's
picture.
telling the whole story.
Yeah, and Margaret L. Main is the fortune telling by the cards. Fortune telling by the cards. By cards is the book. I do offer that, but that is the book. She goes through, the process of cartomancy is what she does. And a lot of, like who is the Three of Diamonds that wrote the book? Um, I can't believe I forgot his name. But not Westchester. Is it Only? Yeah, Only Richmond.
Only,
Yeah,
yeah.
Only Richmond. So he gives. I like his book. It does, like, if you first get into the cards, like he gives simplified order of like an Ace of Spades and Mercury, but it really does tell, like, it will help you out. That's like the best introduction. But like you said, you don't know the full details of the Ace of Spades. That's almost kind of like one example of
Hmm.
how how it can come across. So you take that information, see how does it applies. Why does he say that? Why
Hmm.
would an Ace of Spades and Mercury be? And his goes into like practical things, like everyday things, like someone come like a secret phone call or something, or a friend
Yep.
calling you, or a message, to a Diamonds and Mercury, a deal, that may come, or a letter in the mail. He puts it out as far as like plainly
Hmm.
for you as well. So I do like his book for that, and using realistic context, how it relates to you in person or in real life whenever you're reading the cards. But yeah, Margaret, like, she does the same thing, like a King of Diamonds and Neptune, or within cartomancy, like the Queen of Diamonds and Mercury is maybe like organizing your team,
Hmm.
or sending an email. Well, of course they have emails in, or a letter from a friend
Hmm.
or something, right? Could be a Queen of Diamonds and Mercury. Like you said, it deals with people, communication.
Be just taking a class on business.
Yeah,
It something just as simple as that. You're learning, maybe you take an online course on business, right? You get some business information, or you have a meeting with a woman. The Queen of Diamonds and Mercury could be a
yeah,
telephone call from a woman about money. I mean, it can
right.
go in so many different ways, because how you may have a Queen of Diamonds and Mercury, and if I had a Queen of Diamonds and Mercury, we're gonna have two different experiences,
Right.
correct? Because
And
we're,
that's what I said. I was
yeah,
like, and first you got to know, like, it can be something. Actually, I didn't have enough characters, but it can be different experience for between me and you, because
right.
based upon your relationship with that card. Maybe I was writing somebody else, but it just you're figuring out your pattern. That's why I said you want to learn yourself. You want to look at your weekly. You want to look at your daily. Like, how does this feel with me? What does this mean for me? I like the fact that Madeline does that a lot as well. Like what is my pattern with this card? What has been my relationship with this card? Like, for me, I do it all the time. Seven of clubs come, Lord, I know it's gonna be issues. It's gonna not to say all seven of clubs. I love them. I actually love a seven of clubs, but what I'm saying is sometimes there can be issues that can happen. So I'm a little, I'm a little shaky a bit on the seven of clubs. I don't know how the day gonna go. I don't know if somebody gonna try to take something from me,
Right.
or I'm gonna be praying, or like thankful for what I prayed for, So yeah, like you gotta build a relationship with the cards and see how it shows up for you. And the cool thing about it, it does show up in a lot of different ways. Like a lot of times you learning as you're growing and seeing how it shows up for you.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have known what the Ace of Spades meant for me over my life as far as acting and doing things and writing and using your intuition. Like to know how powerful my intuition is and to really sit down and listen to myself. Like, then why wouldn't you? I used to use it for football. I would never tell nobody that. Like, I grew up believing in God, believing in Christianity, and believing in the power of prayer and faith and vision, because things would happen to me as a child. Like the TV would come on and be like, "You are healed. God has healed you. He has put your hands on you." And I'm 3 weeks in the cast. I get to the doctor. He's like, "Oh my gosh, what? You're you're healed. Like, what's going on?" Like I would have those experiences
Mm.
as a kid, and it was like that. Also, I knew how powerful my mind was, but sometimes you just, like it's like it just seems crazier in every moment. So you learn how does it come in for you? What is your relationship? That's why I said, what is your spiritual relationship with this earth? Like you have to know that. Like,
Mm.
how do you get messages? Like, how do you draw things to you? And so it's kind of hard for me to give you advice if I don't know how I'm channeling.
Yep. That's so true. And that's the thing. I think, unfortunately, we get, people see opportunity with these cards, and obviously, yes, but I think there's people who do it for wrong reasons, and then they're spewing things out to people. And I think that can be very detrimental because, again, and a lot of times you see a lot of people, their own, like, what they want, but they're not seeing what it really is. You know what I mean? Like, and I just find that to be like, you got to take your emotions out of it. You got to take your ego out of it and be able to look at this and be able to see it for what it is, not what, because that was my mistake in the very beginning. Like I'd be like, oh, because the Six of Hearts is here, he loves me, it's a karmic connection and we're gonna be together forever. That's bullshit. So um, what I learned is a lesson and it's a reflection. And but see, I wanted what I was but what I saw what I wanted. Right. And so then I would read it to this is how I want it to be. And then when it didn't happen that way, I'd be like, what happened? And I'm like, oh, then I go back and I look at it from taking what I want out of it and I actually see it. I'm like, oh, yeah. It's because you're not clouded anymore. You're not like, you're looking at it as it is, not as you hope it to be. So I think that's important, when we're doing readings or helping people. You cannot like put, even when you're trying to predict like the whole presidency, I have people are predicting what they want to have happen.
Yeah. And that's not to say, like I said, know how you channel. Like I wrote on a piece of paper one time something about this artist having a relationship with Outkast and like that being like her thing. Like that is not for every five of clubs. Like that was channeled but when I said it, she was like, "Oh my gosh, who are you?" You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
so certain things, like if there is something that happens or death or something that happens or something that, yeah, do say that, but like you have to know where is that coming for you and trust your intuition as a reader. So that's where the spirituality point comes in, because there are certain things that need to be said and that are channeled, and it could be sad or it may not be, the most light thing in a way. That's why I said this is this, like, I don't know why anybody would just jump into this, like, as far as like wanting to do this, because it is sometimes it can be nerve wracking, because like I said, you are speaking to people and it does have influence and they're taking your information and they did pay for it. So you are responsible for their mindset and mentality going forward. So within doing tarot or the cards, like people be like, "Oh, that's cool." That's very tough. Like you need mental, you know, relaxation. Like you need mental breaks for yourself doing these things. You know, that's why
Yeah.
the person that always that taught me. You know, she's like she didn't want to do it. No, I'm good. I can't do it right now. So you
Oh,
also got to know how to say no.
when it comes to my weekly readings, if I'm too tired, if I'm too emotional, I will text my client and be like, I'm sorry. I will do your reading tomorrow. I know me, and I don't want to give you a reading if I'm not in a space to be able to even do it. Like, if I'm too tired, if I'm too emotional, something that happened that day and I was frustrated, I'm not going to just do it because I reach out to my client and I'll be honest with them. And they know, they've even said to me, I would much rather you be in a better state of mind to give me this reading than to just give it to me because it's due this day. And I'm very upfront about that. If I can't get it to you, I will text you, hit you up. Hey, or like there's been times when my daughter was playing basketball, we wouldn't get home till late. I'm not going to exhaust myself. Just so I have to, I know me. And I also will be mindful of how many I do a day. I have to be nope, I'm not. I will like reschedule it. I will can't I'm not I've learned I will not sacrifice myself or my well-being because it really actually does them a disservice too, because my it wouldn't be the level that I want it to be, because I'm not at the level that I want to be able to even give the reading because I'm exhausted. And I have to be mindful because again, if I'm emotional and I'm a big emotional person, it you don't want my emotions in this because now
Mm-hmm.
we're not sure what the fuck is going on. So
Or
it would be
Brandy.
better to not have my emotions in your reading. So I would wait, because I have had that where I've been very upset and I reached out, be like, look, I'm just not in the space to do it. And most of them, they've been always, Maria just said, yes, I would much rather wait. And I
That's
have done that
good.
to her because I'm not, and she's even said, no, don't do it. Like, I would much rather you not give me the reading, send it to me when you're better, because they know, because it's for them. And I'm not going to give some half-ass thing just because I need to get it done. I would much rather wait. So I'm big on that.
Word. Yeah. Thank
And
you,
cleansing
Maria, for
yourself. Like,
understanding.
start doing a lot of them. You're looking into other people's energy. And now, and especially if I've had people who have dealt with death, the loss of this, the loss of that, this, and then they come to you. And now, and especially me being heart energy, I will take it on. So I'm really big about sitting in the bath or cleansing myself, my space, because I have to be mindful of the energies, especially in my heart, because I can get emotionally attached to other people's
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And that's not right either to take, into their readings either. So
Right. And hello, Madeline. How are you doing today? We've been talking about the Ace of Spades. Of course, for a reset for those who have been here, who have just joined. Ace of Spades is the Magi, as you can see. It can also be about ambition, drive, going into esoteric information, seeing beyond the veil as well. You know, speaking things into existence, and having, like I said, ambition to actually work upon those things that you speak upon as well. Like I said, acting things out. And it coming to life. But right now, we're talking about just the essence of doing readings, and working with people doing or spiritual work. You know, what does that work look like? And having a spiritual base, and knowing how to channel, or if you are a channeler, if you're not a channeler, where's the base or standpoint where you and give or help people or guide them as far as through service, you know. So you're a counselor. So, um,
Mhm.
what is that process for you, and where are the boundaries that can be drawn in that, and what is the mindset that you kind of have to have going to like counseling people?
Cool topic. Hi, everybody. Uh, yeah, that's very true. And I find that the reflective listening really helps me in that, like, when somebody comes to me, my job is to lean into where they're at and explore from there. So the first thing is to not go in with any idea about what I think should be happening, right? Like it's more like I'm going in to stay neutral, to be clear, and to reflect. And so once I kind of lean in and go where they go, and a lot of times people take you on the ride of whatever the story is inside that they want to talk about. And so much comes up as they're talking. And then that's what I come back with. I'm like, well, when you were talking, I kind of sensed this and I heard this and I think this and I bring it to them for inquiry. I don't ever come back like, well, da 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 da. I'm like, I kind of heard it like this, and I see this. What do you think about that? So that the person becomes their own explorer. And I'm kind of the lady with the map saying, did you notice how that's what we said? Yes, last 3 weeks ago. And now here we are. We talk, like I'm a tracker. I
Mhm.
look at myself as a tracker. So,
Accountability coach.
well, just
Yeah.
awareness,
Mhm.
accountability comes after your awareness. Our ability to respond consciously and reflect and communicate has a lot to do with whether or not we're going to enjoy connecting with somebody, really, to me. So I meet it like that. I mean, there's times where somebody, before they even come in, or a lot of times they'll just sit there and I'll ask some question and I won't even know why I asked a question. I'm like, oh, so how's it going? How's it going to work? I can't believe you brought up work. That's what I was going to talk about. Like that kind of stuff happens, like I'll say, well, I remember you mentioning that car that was, oh yeah, again, like that kind of stuff happens a lot. Like in the opening part, sometime I'll just ask a question just to kind of get them talking. And oftentimes I ask a question that's very close to where it was that they wanted to kind of explore. So I
Yeah.
think that's intuition, and I think it's just being in the game for a minute.
Yeah, and we kind of spoke about last week. The King of Diamonds can be run into the psychic, or someone like, or run into someone that does readings, or wherever it may be. So yeah, that intuition and the King of Diamonds, being able to help guide and read people and guide other people's emotions, and like you said, bring it back, going back into the past. Six of Hearts, right? We kind of talked about that earlier. Like I said, can be very well thought out, planning things and understanding. Being able to um, read the environment emotionally. So, yeah, that's exactly kind of what the King of Diamonds is kind of here to kind of do. So that's again like
And definitely when I'm emotional, which I am, there's definitely days where, like, when around something like when this happened, there was a day I was just like, yeah, I can't talk to anybody today because, oh, I don't even think of it as like I would do damage as much as I would do damage. I think of it as like I need my attention. Like I need to be with myself today. If I'm not here with me, then I'm going to end up pushing what wants my attention out onto someone else. So that's how it works for me. So I make my schedule very much like that. After years of doing this, like I have days I do it, days I don't do it, and like consciously prepare myself that way because I know that I need to be with myself and integrate what's happened so that when I get to the next spot, I'm clear and true.
Yeah.
So if there's something on me, you're gonna find out, just like when we do this stuff, I'm in the rooms, we're here. Like if I'm thinking about something, we're talking about it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like when you can tell even in this, when it comes up. So and it's okay to talk about it, but sometimes for me, when I'm still in process, my lens is somewhat hyper focused on something that maybe isn't as big a deal as I think it is right then.
Yeah. Like I see that with the King of Diamonds energy. That because of the one, the hyper focus on something. But yeah, I think it's important, like we were talking about, like you have to, you know, make sure because you were again, it's like it is like a counseling thing. It's a service of giving somebody an energy read, whether you're doing it through astrology, human design, the cards, tarot, you're energetically now connected to that person. And Rashad, remember we were taught like a lot of times you show up in their spread, they're in your spread. So and I've had that happen countless times where people have come to me. I've literally been the card the day that they came to me. It's wild. Or I had a
yeah,
friend today who just started the weekly readings, and when I went into her spread, I was like, "Oh my god, you have like it's literally lines up. Like this would be something that she starts doing in this month, it's based on her spread." So it happens like that. And again, I think like we were talking about, like you have to be able to see it objectively without like wanting a certain outcome, because that was what I used to do for myself. I used to get myself all messed up because I'm like, ooh, but then it's like, oh, you forgot there's the other side of that card. Like, you know what I mean? There's other aspects of this energy that can be playing out, and so you have to just be, again, your ego cannot be in it. You cannot be looking for specific outcomes, because I think that's when we get clouded and jaded in the read and what's really supposed to be playing out. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was just thinking about like Rain Man
Right.
having all the 52 books in his head and like going around and like reading people and knowing his position and knowing their position. Like it is a lot to put into play. You know, like you said, like I look at my own spread sometimes or my weekly or looking at their spread. You know, if I'm not in their spread, I'm gonna go look at mine. You know, to see what happened or where's the connection is. Well, that's what I said. Where is your spiritual base? Like you gotta have like a way to understand and kind of separate what is and what isn't, you know, and see the connection that you have and see the relevance. Like, is this particular topic or subject relevant, or what may come up? It is doing going through the process of doing readings. Like I said, it's not easy. You know,
Mm-mm.
it is not easy at all, and there is a lot of pressure on you as a reader sometimes to get it right. And people are, like I said, are paying you. Even going back to Napoleon, to the days of Napoleon, I believe Margaret reading one of her book, or she has another book. It was reading another like a biography or something about her. um Her students actually wrote a book after that. So after she passed, I think, or she had one, but she was doing a reading for Napoleon, and she actually told him something about a war that he would win, but she also that he said he would get too greedy or something, and he locked her up for that. Like he put her in jail. So this used to be taken like very, very seriously. So I've even heard other astrologers say like they would have your head chopped off for doing stuff like this, you know?
I'm really grateful to be a therapist because I get to speak the truth the way I speak it, because if I just did it as a regular person at the bar, it's like, what's with that lady? But as I'm supposed to do that, I'm like, oh, good, I'm doing my job. Meanwhile, I've been able to do that from the minute, right? And then when you say it, people are like, you're not supposed to know that. I don't want to hear that. You're not supposed to talk about that. I'm like, oh, shit, there I go again. Got myself in trouble. So I think as a therapist, I mean, I'm thankful that it's mostly word of mouth that gets people to me now. And when it does, it's like, she's going to tell you the truth. You're going to put it
Yeah,
clear.
there's always this expectation. They know what you're going to say, and you're allowed to do and say, and say your truth, you know, without no limitation. So, and speaking of truth, someone asked about what about the Nine of Diamonds, Ace of Spades connection with it being the God card? Do you think God cards influence your spreads in a way like a faint energy before you even hit 52? With anything within your spread, within your cards, there are periods, but to be honest, you're gonna live. I lived through all of these. Like I've seen the Six of Hearts, I've seen the King of Hearts, the King of Diamonds is here, like the
But what
Five
does
of.
she mean by the God card and the 52? Maybe we need to clear that. Maybe some don't know what she means by
Oh
that.
yeah,
It's
true.
just the environment card that sits in your house at 52.
Mhm,
It's the environment, it's the card that's in your natural house at the age of 52. 52 is,
mhm,
we talked about it on the other one, that it is a critical year. It equals 7, it equals the King of Spades, which is the King of Spades is the God card, right?
mhm.
Your environment card at 52 is the what I guess she's referring to as the God card. I've never learned it that way. I don't know why there's such a hype on this. I just see it's your environment card. Like,
Mhm,
and yes,
mhm,
52 in itself is a critical year, but what's going to
mhm,
happen at 52 is building way before 52. So that's the
mhm.
one thing we have to learn about these plates. They build, just like any,
Yeah.
it builds energy. So if you have an Ace of Spades that's sitting your environment card that year, and you're the Nine of Diamonds, then that it could be a good year for change. A good year. This would be a great year to put your health first. This would be a great
Mhm.
year to take care of yourself. This because 52 is a critical health year because it
Yeah,
is the
very
year where
critical.
you're building to your second Saturn return. And if you're not, like, that's why people leave with heart attacks. They suddenly leave because it's a very, it's a healthier, in
True.
my opinion. It'd be more looked at like taking better care of your health.
Yeah.
Um, if you had the Nine of Diamonds, if you're the Nine of Diamonds and the Ace of Spades is the environment card for you that year, there'd be a lot of transition. A lot of opportunities to really like take like to me, that would mean like you're really rebirthing yourself and really seeing how strong you are. But I would look prior to 52. because if you haven't been taking care of your health up until that point, it may be harder to kind of get yourself, motivated and wanting to, take care of yourself, because it really is going to depend on what you've been doing the years prior to that.
Yeah, I think you touch on the cycle stuff. And to me, that's the one that deepens everything into the same clarity, because the 7 years are 7-year cycles. And when you look at the medicine wheel, or when you look at the way rings on a tree work, they have experiences that affect them, and then they affect them the next time too. So whatever happens 0 to 7 expects will influence 7 to 14, and then 14, it will influence 14 to 21. Like, you'll continue to influence yourself based on what you lived in the last cycle. There'll always be lots of renewal, but there'll be clarity that comes through because you're living yourself, the character of you, another 7 years.
Yeah. And
Right.
it is good. It is a strong year, because and some people meet God that year because they decided to not, take heed. And some people want to leave. Like, I think when people pass, there's so many different circumstances that play out, right? But it is a critical year in the space that it is 50, the age, the number 52 itself, because it equates to the King of Spades. But I would look at it more. I don't put too much emphasis on the God card, because I have never heard that before.
Well, I mean, you're walking Christ consciousness times 3. What are you worried about the God card?
Yeah. So
And she doesn't have one. That's why she's
that maybe
upset.
that's the problem. I'm a little, salty. No, I'm just kidding.
She's like,
I
what is
am.
this?
I realize I am my own. God and me, we're, we work together here.
One and the same. All right.
But no, I feel like there's so much. I've had so many people come to me like, where did this come from? But
Okay, so for Gina, the God card is looking at the 52, and it's I guess, like you say, it's speaking about the displacement card. But one thing at 52 happens, is supposed to happen, is you're supposed to walk within that God card, or within that pattern, after 52, as far as maybe career, life, or change or transition. Speaking of transition space, right? Within that. But also what really happens at 52, and I think this is taught by the Queen of Diamonds within the study, is walking, is either him or William. So you walk with more of your
planetary ruling.
planetary ruler.
Yep.
Yeah, you walk
Yep.
with your planetary ruler as far
Yeah.
as personality and life as well. So, but I look at, like, my planetary ruling is the Ace of Spades, so, and I'm here.
Well, according to the God card that you have is the 8 of Hearts.
8 of Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And isn't the 8 of Hearts actually transforms into you, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. And I've been talking to 8 of Hearts this week too.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about the 3 of Diamonds, and just how it shows up for them at work, and understanding their relationship. Even how she looks at it, like my 10th house is Scorpio, right? So I believe Aquarius Maximus is a Scorpio, right? Is she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she's in my 10th house in Scorpio. And she supports me. She pushes me up, so she helps me out a lot, from that perspective. And she's my transformation card.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you is knowing those little things, and you get to see those patterns as well. As a lot of different ways that you want to look at the patterns, and how people push you in a lot of different ways. Even looking at your transformation card is important, outside of just looking at their planetary ruler. Looking at how they walk through life, and what they do, and the way they go about things, is important. So that's also why the science is kind of hard, because you have to really know all of the different perspectives, and understand how it affects you, and even understanding new jargons that comes along with the Ace of Spades. There's new discoveries that happens all the time. They just discovered that there's an energy after that's around after you die, and I just seen this week a life coming into a newborn cell after it is I don't know what that's not germinated, right? What is that after an egg goes in fermentate? What is that? Fermented? I don't know. What is that? Yeah,
I know what
when
you're
life
talking about.
yeah, so when the eggs, and the sperm meets and life creates, they have a glowing light that goes into the cell. I was like, holy, that is
And
crazy.
that's the essence of it. If you
Mhm,
really want to be a good parent, grow that light. Like that's the whole trick of what a good relationship is. Like we spark a light and our job is to grow the light inside of us. And sometimes if we have dimness or despair or judgment, we're putting out the lights of the things that are younger than us instead of brightening the lights by teaching them about shining and telling us who they are and what's important to them. Like that's one of those
mhm,
things that I think could really shift the paradigm when it comes to children is to think that we're helping to grow their light. We're not protecting them from the world. We're teaching them to grow so strong and so bright that they know what to do. They can
mhm,
trust themselves, right? So yeah, that struck me because I've been talking and thinking a lot about parenting and the approach and what fosters a different frame because that was a perfect way to say it, Rashad. Like it sparks a light. Like we start with a light that wants to fill us. So I got
mhm.
excited.
I triggered you this one. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let there be light. So any way that you look at these cards that grows, like you said, your light, and you feel like you're pushed to live your truth within that energy, you know, um, every cycle, the Ace of Spades believes that you're being primed, for your best self. So as long as you understand that energy and knowing that everything happens for a reason, um, I would say don't wait on 52 to walk within that light, you know? And you want to do that now. You want to prep for that now. Of course, things change, things open up, but knowing it now and knowing your lot in life now is the Ace of Spades mission, right? Is they know who they are. Kevin, I said Kevin Hart, but what's the comedian? Not Kevin Hart. The other comedian that was just on Shay Shay's from. Gosh, I can't believe I forgot his name.
Yeah,
But
I'm no help.
Cat Williams, yeah. But he was saying that 12, 13, like he was 14, 15. I don't know. He also said he ran a full five at 50. But anyways, he said that he knew that he had to leave his parents' house, at 14, 15. A lot of people that I see that are successful that does things like they didn't wait, on a lot of things to live at the highest peak of their essence, like um Diddy didn't wait until he was 33 to become a millionaire. Everything happens within time, within your time, within the process of that you're supposed to live it out in, right? But if you feel driven to do it now, don't wait until now to do it. Or if you don't wait until 20 years to do it. Do it now if that's what you feel driven to do. But times wait for no man. So um, I don't like to hold anybody back and be like, this is what's going to kick him down. Even within my yearly spread or me giving a yearly reading, I'll tell you the time period, but I may tell you like this can happen anytime,
Yeah.
like you can have a 5 of hearts and you may move next week. So, but just know I told you that the 5 of hearts could be in that energy as well. Like I said, that's why I say it's hard, to understand and to give all the sides within this art because you got to know and decipher what's between intuition and what's just reading the cards. It is a form of therapy for some people, and it is, um, it does help people emotionally to cope with things that they may not see, they may not understand. Like I say, you don't know the mental um, process that someone is in or mental stability that someone has whenever they come to you. So this is the Ace of Spades. Energy is esoteric information. It goes into, like I said, could go into counseling, guiding other people. The Seven Hearts goes into relationships a lot of times as well, and communicating, and it could be fear that comes along with that. Has the Two of Clubs with it that supports it as well. So Ace of Spades sits Mercury Neptune, so it's seen beyond the veil, and it does have the quote, "Let there be light."
Yep.
Yeah.
And like, for the back to that, the 52, if that's her in God card at 52, then, there's an opportunity for, and you can actually go back to the like 51. What's the environment card then? The 7 of hearts. So it really is about like loving yourself. So it does build, like, to kind of answer that question, it does kind of build up, because they only just, when you start to follow the patterns, they just move to the challenging karma card, right? So that's the year prior to that, with the 7 of hearts being the environment card for the 9 of diamonds. It is about like letting go of the expectations, loving yourself. Then you move to that, the Ace of Spades being the card at 52 that sits in your house. It is about rebirthing yourself from that space of loving yourself. You know what I mean? So it is a continuation, and it can, that energy just continuing, because the next time at 53, the environment card is going to be the 2 of clubs. So now you're working, now that you have the tools for yourself and who you are and what you want, and able to really take away the conditions and the expectations. Now that year at 53 is going to be about connecting and communicating and working with others, but from a space of
Because
knowing
they love to
who
talk.
you are, without the fear, without the attachments, without the expectations. So it does build, yes. And there can be a really good opportunity that year for, a lot of really deep insight. I feel like it's a powerful year no matter what, because it's just the 52. And I agree with you, Rashad. I think after that year, for people who have planetary ruling cards, you probably are more operating from that card. That card is kind of taking more, emphasis, than maybe your birth card. And it is about, balancing the two, I find, as well. So, but yeah.
Yeah, as we're growing,
Right.
like I said, like we're creating relationships, we're creating patterns. Some people may grow into it faster than other people. At 52, you may step into it more than someone else. But Einstein may have did it at 26.
Right.
So, so it just
Believe
depends
that
on.
no matter when it happens, there's still something about too much too fast. Like I would say in the bunch of 7 patterns I've lived over the years, that's a lesson that too much too soon has never grown a strong bloom.
Yeah.
The lots went down. Even if it looks amazing for a little while, in the long run, too much too soon definitely affects the bloom. Either you get too much fruit or too heavy fruit. Like it's hard to find balance. Like I still feel no matter what kind of opportunities we receive in these energies, our ability to meet it in a balanced way and kind of invite it and let it grow. Because sometimes when it sparks and it explodes, you really got to regulate and balance yourself and all that. And that takes some mastery. So I think those are mastery classrooms when that happens.
And it takes, and like an Ace of Diamonds has a Queen of Diamonds and Mercury, that they have a master around them or someone that groomed them into that position. Like we all don't have that sometimes, and too much too soon can halt people in certain ways. And you gotta know, like stars burn out fast, right? There's a lot of stars that get a lot and they burn out and they had a lot of talent and it was just too much to cope
Mhm.
and to manage at such
Yeah.
a young age. Think about like the kids that they were basically kids, those revolutionaries in the 60s and 70s. Those were kids leading adults to do things you know
Yeah, and we've talked about it on the family card table on Friday that the opportunity to be famous and be a movie star has some costs, and I would imagine one of them is probably authenticity, since you are in fact a performer and you're playing roles and you're moving. So like your own authentic needs and things like that aren't going to maybe be the first consideration when you're moving so fast into so many possible spaces. So I think, I mean, balance and authenticity are what I think the prescription is. So I thank all the movie stars. It's been great entertainment, but I bet there's been a cost.
Yeah, for sure. So honor your time and your growth. Honor mine. I've been in positions where I've looked back like I wasn't ready because I didn't have the proper people around me. So that's why aligning with the proper people, with proper energies. A Queen of Diamonds or wherever it's in your life path. Also look for those people. Well beyond those times because they're gonna properly groom you for that energy when it comes as well. You know and going through the experience of it all and prepping for that time period is important. If you're looking towards the future, but doing as much as you can now, honoring the time that you have and stepping into that light. It's the Ace of Spades is around can be around knowing your path and taking on your workload no matter what it is. So taking upon your lot in life without no complaints, you know, for what it is and what you're doing, and because you know that's what you're supposed to do. That's your path. No matter the timing, no matter the weather, no matter any like don't speak about the ills. You know, I'm not gonna say no one does, of course. Like I hate my job sometimes too. Like I hated a lot of my jobs, but here I am talking. I hated talking. Like, but here I am again. So yeah, it definitely is a process. So it's about 1:29:30. So thank you all. We're gonna head out. Was there anything that you all have coming up? Anything that you want to speak about as far as a card, or as far as anything you have in the upcoming weeks?
We'll be on Friday night on Clubhouse, going in there and talking about the family card table and the idea of this stuff and ways to come together. And yeah, just that Gina's safe. I know there's more storms coming in, and that everybody continue to use their community and get the support they need. And that I was really touched. I happen to know a lot of people in Nashville, and hearing their reports and seeing what's
Mhm.
happening, it's rather touching how strongly people are coming together. So I pray you're coming together too. And sorry for being late, but always enjoy the conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, you're fine. I actually, I thought, I don't know why I thought, maybe I was thinking this was last week. You said you wasn't going to be here. So we did start a little early because when I had texted about the storm, she had said that she had, she needed to move the time. So we did start early. So you're fine. I thought you wasn't going to be here. But what time is it Friday? So they know. I don't think you said the time.
Like 5:30, 6 o'clock on Friday nights.
Okay.
No, I think
And
that's maybe that's 5:30, 6 o'clock my time. So it's probably like 7:30, 8 o'clock on out there. I'm forgetting. I'm 2 hours earlier.
No, we do the clubhouse. We do it 5:30 Eastern time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and then the YouTube we do at
5:30.
5:30 Eastern time on Fridays. Happy birthday, Maria! Today
Happy
is
birthday. Yeah.
Three of Diamonds, Maria's birthday. I love
Oh
Maria.
yeah, happy
I love
birthday.
her energy. Um,
So,
we've been rocking for a while, so happy birthday to you. Yeah, I am going to be leaving tomorrow. I'm gonna go south. I think I'm gonna go to West Palm where my dad is. I think it'd be better for me than to try to get north because I think north is going to be a cluster. You know what? With the gas, with everybody trying to go. So I will be leaving tomorrow evening. I've already made sure I got my readings done. And because I have to have like I was telling Rashad at the beginning, I have a lot of trees around my house. It's been raining nonstop since this morning. It's not going to stop raining. So the ground's really saturated. It's the trees that make me nervous. And just being here with my daughter. So I would much rather be a little bit more out of this path because I am pretty much for what it's looking, it's going to come up. I like come the path of I-4, which goes from Tampa to Daytona. I don't live far from I-4, so I would much rather not be here for it because just even a week ago with the wind, it was enough for me to be like, you know what, I don't want to put myself through that stress. I am very blessed that I do have places to be able to go to. So and it's not as easy for people to leave. I hear it all the time. Well, why didn't people just go? Where can you go? You realize that all the hotel rooms inland are going to be taken. The gas is already running out in Tampa. People are 75 north is really the only way out of Florida and on the west coast, unless you take back roads. So it's just going to be really intense here for the next few days. And I just know for my own peace of mind, it would be best if I'm not here. So I'll keep y'all posted, and just we'll be good. And yeah, and then what's crazy is like the following week, there's another one behind this one. So
really? Are you serious?
I'm so
Oh
serious.
boy, here comes
Oh
the first. All
wow.
right, guys, I'm gonna cut out. Take
Yeah.
care.
All right.
So,
Enjoy.
but yeah, it'll be good. We'll be fine. We've been through
All
this
the best,
rodeo before.
Gina.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We've been through this before, but I just know me, and we lose power really easily where I live too. So it just would be better for my peace of mind to not be here. So I'll leave tomorrow night. It won't be too bad. It'll be good.
Okay. Well, be safe. Enjoy. Till next week. For me, um, coming up, I I was doing the classes. I was going to do the classes, but it's been totally crazy as far as the move. Everything been somewhat last minute. I didn't even sign my contract to really move until last week. So that's why I was kind of didn't know what I was going to do as far as classes. But so what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just do something online, so like videos, and then do a community. If you pay for that, then you can join a community, and we can talk about those videos, and then we do more some live things later on, or I may join some of Gina stuff and make sure I pop in some of it and some of those. Um, we get some live interaction. I like live classes, so they're fun to me. But so I do want to have and be part of some coming up. So yeah, so hopefully you're safe. Next week is also going to be a two of spades week, correct?
Yep, two of spades.
Yeah. So two of spades, I call the Black Magician. Oh my gosh, just the sound of that, it just sounds scary. Cause there's some magic going on. For real. So two of spades can be a powerful indeed. They have the king of spades and Neptune. We always talk about Jersey. Don't make it sound bad, right? But it's just me. I'm just going based on left field. King of spades and Neptune can be very powerful. It can be someone that can know what's going on from afar. Be great at reading people as well. They can run into interesting people, powerful people. I heard Two of Spades ran into Oprah Winfrey just in the gym, and they had a conversation. She asked him who he is. Like, who are you? So that's how powerful the Two of Spades can be, right? So they can be some of the friendliest people. It can be very exciting for couples. Florida hurricane coming. I can imagine some babies would be made in the midst of the hurricane in Two of Spades week. So everyone be safe. And enjoy your time. If that's what you're doing, let me get off that. But two of spades is about relationships as well, karma, and the people that you meet, and understanding, things happen how they should and when they should, and perfect timing, and also not putting more of the workload on the partner and holding your own within the relationship as well, so it can work out and you can make a great thing happen. So within the time period that y'all meet. So it has the six of spades and the king of clubs supporting it. And along with the six of spades, I always look at, even within destiny, there's always time for endings when life paths separate and people go down a different path, right? So even though we all have um, partners that we are supposed to meet and be in love with, also understand people and places have their times, right? So everything is in God's order, so you have to be faithful within that process, within your relationship, and honor that. But was there anything that you want to speak of? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. And thank you, everybody. But yeah, I don't have anything planned yet for October with this whole situation now. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do for like with the webinars and stuff. Once I figure that out, I will post about it or share about it. But as of right now, I don't have anything planned. Um, just trying to figure out, just get through these few weeks of these storms, and then, and that way I
Right.
don't have to like stress about that or worry about that right now. Just, just trying to figure out what, how this is going to play out. But yeah, once I figure October out, I'll let everybody know. But right now, nothing for the month of October. No webinars are scheduled. I even haven't even had a chance to really like come up with that. And I know my daughter had like a scrimmage game. I wasn't sure the date. I was waiting to get that. So I may just do um, one thing maybe towards the end of the month when maybe this weather starts to calm down. I may try to slide in a webinar. So I'll let y'all know. And yeah, thank you everybody. We'll be good. I'll keep y'all posted. Um, and yeah, enjoy this two of spades. Make great connections. It's a great card to connect. This is the card of brotherly love, and we are going to need that. Like this state, all the other states that have been affected by this crazy ass weather are going to
Hmm.
need people to come together, and we're probably going to see a lot more of that happening this week. With all the storms, it kind of forces you to help your neighbor when you're seeing your neighbor, in in ruins, their houses are in ruins, or whatever the situation may be. It's when that brotherly love energy really does start to kind of, you want to help. That's all you've seen on social media, is like, how can I help these people? How can we, what do you need? That's what this country, is what people, that's what humanity needs. We all want to come together. It feels good to help. It feels good, especially, if you can, even if it's like sharing something. You don't have to donate money if you can't have it. Most people don't even have it to donate, but sharing it, bringing attention to it, maybe connecting someone else with someone that can help. That's what it's about. So I think we'll see a lot
Man,
more of that
yeah.
as we move into this week, especially with where we're going to need each other. Our neighbors are going to need us. This whole state is going to need help after this storm comes through.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll really be important for people to put their crazy differences aside and really help each other. That is going to be a big thing this week, I think.
Is the king of clubs going to put the differences aside?
Yep.
We're gonna see. I say that because of Kendrick Lamar. I was damn petty, but but yeah, most definitely two of spades and the two king of clubs in that relationship is definitely funny. But yeah, brotherly love and working relationships is going to be very important. Like I said, giving each other a hand. So we'll see how the energy plays out. There's a lot of clips that I'll probably still be rolling out for the Ace of Spades. It was just something heavy, just dealing with that energy and like seeing all of that and just replaying like this. Yeah. So tour space is coming next week. So hopefully everyone, enjoy that energy. Hopefully that you all have a great week. And thank you for showing up as you do every week and asking questions. It's like probably, I can't ask for more as far as you asking questions and participating. And even if you have a question about something we said, we didn't clarify it, don't be scared to ask. And we'll try to make sure that we clarify what we're speaking about. So hit the like button, also
And
go
send
to
Rashad a smoke detector battery.
I'm gonna tell my cousin. I'm gonna tell her. We deserve it. But I'm gonna fix it tonight. We're gonna fix this tonight. We're civilized people over here. Like we know how to change a smoke detector. I promise you. It's like we get immune to it after a while. Like
How can you be
heard it
immune to
all
that?
my
That shit
life.
drives me nuts. I would rip that whole
Just
thing off the wall.
like,
That stuff makes my, like, it gives me like, oh, I want to. No, I could never. Mm-mm.
Yo, I was in the car. And
There it
I
goes
just thought
again.
about. I just thought like I used to be in the car and I can just sit there and the thing is beeping on the dash. I'm like, maybe that's because I grew up with a smoke detector going off in my house. Like maybe I'm just going to ignore certain shit that doesn't matter. Like, what did you say? Let the
I think
thing
I'm
like
noise sensitive. That stuff, I would go nuts. I would rip the damn thing off the wall, honestly.
I was gonna take it off, J-Lo. That's what I was doing. Actually, when I first came on and it went off, that's what happened. Like that's honestly what happened. I was trying to take it off, then the thing went off. I was like, let me just not touch this. Like too much is let me just we're gonna bear through it. So my people, I know hopefully that you had selective hearing through this episode and you was able to have selective hearing as we've grown to have. So but yeah. But that may be why, the men in my, culture have selective hearing certain things, or everybody in my culture has selective hearing. Because we grew up in knowing the smoke alarm all our lives and just the degrading things that certain people would say, like shut that door, just totally skipped over that that word in our head. Like, I just shut it up. That's what she said. That's what she said. That's the issue. I see it now. That's what it is. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Found something out of Ace of Spades. We got down to some core issues and found out where selective hearing comes from. But all right, I ain't gonna hold y'all up. All right, Gina,
Good
enjoy.
night. Peace all.
Peace.